What's up, steak fans? Dave Palumbo here from Muscle Serpents Daily, and we're going to do a quick hit today. We got a clutch to pull of really exciting genetics. You're not going to want to miss this one. This could be an epic clutch later this year when it actually hatches, assuming it does. And then, of course, I want to show you a clutch that just ate their first meal, which is kind of interesting because it's a dual-sired ball python clutch, meaning that there were two dads, and I could prove that by the genetics of the babies, and we're going to take a look at them and see if we can identify them. If not, we might have to just play some guessing games, but every one of them ate, so that's super exciting. Let's go in and take a look and see what's going on. Another superstar from the class of 2018. Yes, that is correct. 18-month-old. Actually, she's probably about 2 years now. But this is a young female. This one, I was praying that this one was going to go. This is my Hypo Enchi Hurricane. Really good hurricane swirls. It was also 100% head for rainbow. And I bred her to another exactly the same Hypo Enchi Hurricane Het Rainbow. So as you guys can imagine, there's a lot of good potential in whatever she's laying on. Hopefully they're good eggs. You know, she is a young female. The male was a young male as well, but obviously not, the males tend to not have as big a problem when they're younger. But sometimes they're infertile. It looks like she's got some good eggs there. I can see a nice little white egg popping through. I haven't really peeked under and seen what she's got, but this is the result of a female who just ate really well her entire life. You know, her entire 2 years. I don't think she ever missed a meal. Maybe 1 week when she was shedding or something like that. So she's a little nervous now. I don't want to bother her too much. Obviously, good potential to produce Super Hurricane here. Everything's going to be hypo. We could produce Enchis and Super Enchis, and then of course there's a 25% chance of getting some visual rainbows here. So how cool would a hurricane rainbow be? I know no one's produced one of those, that's for sure. So exciting clutch. She's giving us a little peek of what she's got. I'm gonna pull her, I'm gonna wash her off, put her in her own tub, and then we'll collect the eggs. All right, here she is, completely emptied out. That's good. She had started laying these a little earlier today, so I gave her the, it's really late. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, as it always is. And it looks like we got some really nice eggs there. We got 3, 6, 7, and then I put that one over there. This one looks like it might not be good, but we'll see. Very exciting. Hopefully there'll be veins and some embryos in those eggs. So all the eggs were good in that clutch. Everyone had embryos and veins, and hopefully they'll all hatch. I just want to show you this. This is the daddy of the clutch. He's like one of my favorite hurricanes I've ever produced. He was certainly exquisite. Enchi Hypo Hurricane. Look at those swirls. You know, I know Hans Winter named this morph the Hurricane, and the Super is called the Hayabusa. If I would have named this, I told you, I've said this before, I would have named this the Bicep morph. And I would have called the Super the double bicep. If any of you guys know bodybuilding, the double bicep pose is the first pose you hit when you go out on stage and you hold your arms up. That's the pose that, even if you're not a bodybuilder, you know what it is. You kind of just, everyone likes to see arms. And that's what I see. When I see these hurricane swirls, see that one right there? I'm going to point to it. Yeah, there it is. That's a front double bicep pose right there. People probably think I'm out of my freaking mind. But I would have called it the bicep, and the double bicep would have been the Super. I guess I got to find another one that I can name then. Maybe I can get Hans to change the name of it. There was some controversy when he first named it because there was another hurricane out there too. I don't know who got to it first, but I think Hans did. Anyway, beautiful male, beautiful female. Hopefully we make some beautiful babies. We got 60 days to go. You know, my eggs hatch a little later than sometimes. A lot of people say 56, 58 days. I run my incubators a little lower, a little on the cooler side, 86 degrees, because I'm always nervous that they're going to overheat. So it usually takes 62 days or sometimes 64 days. I don't care. You know what? My hatch rate of babies has been superb since I've lowered my temperatures. I very rarely have any problems. And I don't want to jinx myself. Obviously, anything can go wrong with an incubator, but I'm just saying that I don't have as many deformities. I actually have none, really. I mean, in that sense. So sometimes I think lower is better. I don't think you need 88. You know, some people go 89 degrees. Some people even go higher to try to get the eggs to hatch quicker. I mean, come on, what's the rush? Another week at this point? I have almost 40 clutches of ball python's eggs in there. I'm not in a rush. I'm hoping they would stop hatching as quickly because I can't set them up fast enough. All right, it's too late. I'm getting delirious. I'm sitting on the floor here, and I'm going to show you guys a really cool clutch. Sometimes the best time to show off these things is right after they eat, because these ball python babies don't move. They kind of just sit on the hot spot. So I want to show you a cool clutch that was a dual sired clutch, the first one I ever had, where I actually had two fathers. And I didn't even know ball pythons could do that, but I definitely have two sires in this clutch, and I'll show you some cool babies. The breeding was a dinkerish female normal. It has a little bit of weirdness to her, but anyway, I bred her initially to a banana pastel Mandarin, and then halfway through I switched to a spider pinstripe fire Mandarin pastel, and so both had Mandarin in it. And I definitely produced two different daddies, had two different outcomes here. So you'll see. Here's what I think to be a really, really clean looking, and she ate for the first time yesterday. This is a pastel Mandarin, really clean looking. You can see that orange in that lower portion of her body. That's definitely the Mandarin, I would say. And she's got more of an orangey yellow to her. Once again, I'm not positive of it. I'll have to wait till she sheds a few times and grows. I think we're gonna see. I've produced a Mandarin pastel before. She looks very close to that other one. We'll see. Once again, really clean pattern. There's nothing else in this thing. I mean, I guess theoretically there could be fire. This could be a fire pastel. I'm not sure. Once again, it's hard to call these things, right from the get-go. So, but she's really clean looking. So I like the way she looks. Here is an absolute Mandarin. That's a nice high expression single gene Mandarin. It's a female. She's got some really, really nice colors to her. I don't believe there's any other genes in there. She's a little aberrant looking because the mom, like I said, was a dinker. She was also a little weird looking, but that's Mandarin right there. Sometimes it's a low expression. This is pretty high expression Mandarin, especially in the tail region. And you can see if you look at the tail, like right down here, those orange, that's like a reddish, burnt reddish. That's what the pastel had there too. So that's why I was thinking that there probably is Mandarin in that pastel I just showed you. Really nice looking female. I'm gonna leave her alone. She just ate. Now this is what I would call probably a lower expression Mandarin, if it even is a Mandarin. There's definitely something a little different. This doesn't look like just a normal to me, but it could be. I would call this a lower expression Mandarin, or I'm calling a possible Mandarin. I don't even know at this point. Usually the Mandarins, when they grow, the Mandarin gets a little redder and darker, reddish, brown, reddish, like brown, I guess you could say. It's hard to tell right at this size, but we'll keep an eye on her. This is a weird clutch because, like I said, dual sired. I'm gonna have to really hold these back to make sure I really see what I got here. Now this is what I think to be a pastel Mandarin fire. Now I showed that first one, which I was calling a pastel Mandarin, and I said, well, maybe it's a fire pastel. This one is way more orange on the lower portion of its body. It's got that, but it's got a much more yellow look to it. I want to call this pastel fire Mandarin, but like I said, it's hard to tell still. This female is definitely really nice looking. I wouldn't mind holding this girl back and then just, breeding her and figuring out what's in her. Pastel, when it's mixed with Mandarin, and even with fire, I mean, it really, really makes it look really, really clean and nice. So it might be hard to differentiate. This one has a lot more orange in it than the other one did. So I'm thinking this probably is Mandarin and pastel, at least. Whether it's fire or not, I'm not sure. Now this, I think, is just fire. It almost looks hypo, to be honest with you, but I think this is just a fire. I don't think it's fire pastel, but although the head is kind of really washed out, but this could be fire or fire pastel. There's definitely no Mandarin here. You can see there's no orange tinging to it. So I would tend to say this is probably fire. Now this is pinstripe fire Mandarin, pretty sure. Pinstripe. I'm really I really didn't like pinstripe initially. I really was kind of like against it. I was kind of like, But I've produced some really cool pinstripe stuff between the Ultramelt, Orange Dream pinstripe stuff I've produced. This is a really nice looking pin too. This is, I'm pretty close to being sure that this is fire pin Mandarin. There is a lot of orange here. It could just be fire pinstripe. I think it's going to turn out to be Mandarin as well. Really, really clean looking female though. All right, now all those other babies were from the original, well, the second dad I put in there, which was the fire pastel pinstripe spider Mandarin. This one is banana. So obviously it's not from that male. It's from the original male I put in there, the banana pastel Mandarin. And I think we hit pretty much everything. This is definitely pinstripe, obviously. It's banana. It's a male, which confirms the banana. It probably has fire, and it might even have a Mandarin in it too. It's really nice looking, this thing. Very clean. That's why I tend to believe that there's fire in there. There's certainly pastel and banana in there. So banana, pastel, fire, pinstripe. More than likely. Is there Mandarin in there? I don't know. I'm not really seeing too much orange yet, but it's so clean, it's possible. We'll have to keep an eye on this little boy. Really nice looking snake. All right, now this is banana pastel, fire, and I think Mandarin, but I'm not sure. I don't really see too much red, although that yellow is really, that yellow orange is really popping a lot. I don't know if that's from the fire, because fire makes things yellow. It really is a very purple snake though. So I would say banana pastel, fire, possible Mandarin. Very purpley, but you see how down here it kind of looks like a reddish, almost purple. Needless to say, it's a pretty clean looking banana, man. This is really wild looking, so we'll leave him alone because he's digesting. So this was a cool litter. I just wanted to show you this litter really more so because it was dual sired, and this proves that the banana, obviously the two bananas we got are from the that one original male I had in there, the banana pastel Mandarin. And there might be some of the, there's some of the other ones, could be from that dad too. Just because we didn't hit the banana doesn't mean it's not, from that father. Now, obviously, if we have pinstripe or fire in it, then we know it came from the other dad because the banana one didn't have the pinstripe in it. So we can kind of differentiate who the dads are and who the fathers are, and then we have to just kind of see how these things grow and mature to see what genes are really in them and really not in them. That's really what it amounts to. But very clean looking banana. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little clutch. By the way, every single one of them ate. We'll just wrap today up with a little update on this little girl who just ate her first meal as well. This is my albino scaleless head. It's got some of the best contrast I've ever seen. I have to believe that's due to the scaleless head gene. That means missing scales in the head. Obviously, we can produce some really cool totally scaleless animals down the road from this girl. Look at those beautiful ruby red eyes, man. Wow. Even the eyes look different with the scaleless head. And this girl looks like almost looks lavender albino, and she's not. I mean, she's really purpley. I'm sure this is going to turn way more white as she starts to grow and shed a few more times, but I just love this girl. I mean, she's just gorgeous. I almost have to keep her, even though I have a female head, scaleless head, from 2 years ago that I produced. So we'll see. I just wanted to show her off. I really like her. You know, I think that she's exquisite looking. And sometimes it's hard to get, you know, albinos can be really variable, you know. You can get ones that look really great, and you can get ones that look kind of just yellow. She's obviously got some really nice contrast to her. All right, guys, this video had started off really early in the morning, and then it ended really, really late the next day, which is really early morning the next day, because it was like 3 in the morning when I finished the video. But hey, that's the way it goes. I had to do these intros and outros afterwards because I was so tired. I was literally like falling asleep, and I looked like a zombie, and I didn't want to scare anyone. So, all right, guys, you know, once again, cool dual sired clutch. We got to see some cool looking babies, and you never know what they're going to look like after a couple sheds. If that Mandarin gene is in there, we're going to see some really bright orange coming through, and that's exciting. And then, of course, that epic clutch, man. If we can hit, if the odd gods are with us, and we hit that Hypo, Super Enchi, Super Hurricane, Rainbow, I don't know. That's some serious odds to hit. But hey, even if we get a couple combinations there, and we're gonna have some really cool stuff in 60 days. All right, guys, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the like button. We'll see you back tomorrow morning.